All right, this is not a Sprite commercial, though it's the LeBron James Sprite can. And the reason I mention that, my friend Gloria Williams, who works at Walmart, she loves the LeBron commercial where the guy's like looking at the Sprite can. LeBron says, "Go ahead, drink it already." And you know what I was thinking that? I was saying, go ahead, Cavs, win some games already. You'll feel better. And of course, the Cavs have suddenly, the last 2 weeks, begun to win some games. And you could say, well, what's the big deal about it? What does it matter? Regular season, in fact, that's some of the Cavs' own mentality. Doesn't mean a thing. But I could tell you this, when they were like 5-7, things weren't going well, and you had the bench. In fact, Dwayne Wade was one of the ones that mentioned Channing Frye was another, said, hey, we're playing pretty well. Look at the starters. And the starters were looking at each other and having all kinds of problems. You could feel, I've often used this to start to show stress, you could feel even with the Cavs, the stress. Tyronn Lue, short answers. He just didn't want to hear any questions about anything. And then they won a game, and they won another game, and another game. And they discovered Dwayne Wade taking over the second unit, making his own, playing with Kyle Korver, hitting jump shots, Channing Frye hitting jump shots, getting some nice work from with the starters. Kevin Love and LeBron seem to be working better together. J.R. Smith's coming around a little bit. In other words, the Cavs are playing like a team that should be one of the best in the Eastern Conference. And you know, part of it happened, by the way, when Derrick-Rose was hurt. I'm not saying Rose was the problem, but I am saying that I think it kind of cleaned up their rotations a little bit. So when LeBron James and Dwayne Wade were together in Miami, what they discovered after the first year was when one is not on the floor, make sure the other is. In other words, they would play a whole game where they made sure if LeBron and Wade were always out there, and then sometimes they played together. Because Dwayne Wade, even at the age of 35, as we've seen with his leadership, his willingness to go on the floor for loose balls and get in there and rebound. By the way, Dwayne Wade is considered, and I'm not going to get into all the numbers why, the best shot-blocking guard in NBA history. And we have seen that. He comes from behind and takes balls away and from taller players when they think they have an easy layup. And so he has been doing that. And I think that is giving a message to the Cavs. See, this team, with all their new players, I believe it's like 8 of them, needed to develop its own personality, its own chemistry. Most of these guys were not on the teams the last 3 years that went to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I want to mention, and then went to the NBA Finals. I want to mention another player who's been critical to them for the second unit. I mentioned Channing Frye, Kyle Korver, Dwayne Wade, Jeff Green. It was sort of a yawner pickup by Kobe Altman, the general manager. Jeff Green, 6'10", athletic, he can shoot. He's a very good defender, and he has bought into all this winning stuff with the Cavs and what to do. So, by the way, let's give Kobe Altman, the new general manager, some credit on the retool here. Another thing was a yawner, but it's turned out to be very important, when the Cavaliers re-signed Kyle Korver. People said, oh, well, they gave him like a 3-year contract, 20-some million bucks, and he's in his middle 30s. Why are you doing that? Because Kyle Korver, one of the best three-point shooters in NBA history, fits in to what the Cavaliers do. Remember this, LeBron James loves playing with outside shooters. And you could take him all the way back to St. Vincent St. Mary when he played with Dru Joyce III, little Dru Joyce III, who was like 5'2" when he was a freshman playing with LeBron. Later on, he's 5'11" by the time they graduate. They won, I think, 3 straight titles, and they played together. Little Dru, of course, went on to play for University of Akron and play 10 years in Germany. But he always liked that I could just throw the ball to somebody, whether it's little Dru Joyce or tall Kyle Korver or tall Channing Frye, and watch them make that three-pointer, because guess what? When they're out there making shots, the defense has to go out and cover them. That middle, the wide open lane to the basket is open for me, thinks LeBron James. And the other thing, LeBron James takes as much satisfaction from an assist as he does scoring his basket himself. So right now, Cavs fans, it doesn't have to be a Sprite, but whatever you do, just take a nice swig of it, relax, things look good in Cleveland.